Welcome back to another episode of Design Cafe by Jag. My name is Judith and I am an interior designer, and today we're diving into some common design dilemmas that I have been seeing a lot more lately, even though I've spoken about it a lot, right? So I want to talk about how to select the right size rug for your space, whether it's your coffee table, whether it's your sectional or your sofa or even your dining room table. How do you select the right rug? Let's make sure that your space looks beautifully balanced and thoughtfully pulled together. Guys, come on and let's talk design. Okay guys, let's jump into it. So the first part we're going to talk about is your coffee table. Selecting the right size coffee table. When you're doing any design, you have to think on proportion, right? The key is proportion when you're making your selections. Now, the reason why I decided to do this video is because I saw two videos back to back, and I was in the comments and people are saying, oh my God, this looks so beautiful, and they're missing it. They're missing scale. They're missing proportion. So I decided, let me do a video and kind of educate you guys so you guys don't fall into the same design trap. Because what ended up happening is, I heard the person say that they don't like their coffee table anymore, or they don't like something about their space anymore, and I'm over here screaming because it's the wrong scale. Beautiful coffee table, but the wrong scale for the room. It was too tiny. Also, you have to think when you're getting a coffee table, is this coffee table contemporary? Is it modern? Is it traditional? What is the form of this coffee table compared to the design style that you're going for in your space? A lot of times I see the wrong design styles being mixed together, and that could be detrimental to your styling when you have the two wrong design styles together. Now let me just mention this off the back. I'm going to tell you two design styles that you don't want to mix together. One is glam. The other is traditional. Traditional and glam do not mix well together at all. Your space is gonna always either look very old, it's gonna look too blingy with the old, it's gonna look very confusing. Those two design styles do not blend well together at all. Now, if you're into the glam look, try to mix that glam look with something more on the contemporary side, or even just a slight little modern, but do not put glam with traditional, okay? They do not blend well together at all, and no matter what you do to your space, it's not gonna look right, okay? Now let's dive back into the coffee table. Your coffee table should be about 2/3 the length of your sofa. Okay, 2/3 the length of your sofa. Let's say your sofa, okay, so if you have a sofa that's, let's say it's 7 feet long, then your coffee table needs to be at least 4 feet 6, 4 feet 8 is what the length of your coffee table should be. It shouldn't be any smaller than that. The only time you can kind of get away with that is like you do what I did, which I have a very large round coffee table, but I also chose a coffee table that is very bulky, like it's thick, it has thick sides and thick looking legs, so it's giving off the impression that it's extremely large, right? So you have to also play with the eye when you're doing things like that. But if you're choosing, let's say, a rectangular or a square coffee table, you need to be within that 4 feet 6, 4 feet 8 range when you're selecting a coffee table for your space. What that does is it helps it to feel visually connected without overwhelming your space, right? You've heard me talk before about clearance. Having clearance in your space, being able to move around in your space. Do not decorate a space and the space is not functional. So a table that is too small looks like it's floating. So if you put a coffee table in your space and you step back, you look at it, it looks like it's floating in the space, then your coffee table is too small for your space. Also, let's get into the style of the coffee table. Let's say you have a very large sectional, but then you get a coffee table that's small, that's low. You have a very transitional sectional, and here you go now and you add in a very modern, a very contemporary, sleek coffee table. The coffee table is going to be too low because it's more so on the contemporary modern side, so it's going to lay too low, and it's too small for such a big piece. When you have such a big piece, it's best to even try to do some kind of nesting styling with your coffee table. So you'll have more than one of the coffee table, or you have a cocktail table next to it, just to start to make the space, the visual square footage of the space where the coffee table is sitting appear to be much bigger than it really is. So that is one visual trick that you can use, okay? So while a small coffee table can look like it is floating in your space, a coffee table that is too big can also make the room feel very cramped. So you need to stick with that 2/3 rule so that your space can flow correctly. Now, if your sofa or your sectional is too big for your space, this can also make it a whole mess, because now you're trying to get a coffee table that is going to be proportionally correct to go with that sofa or that sectional. And then you're gonna have a coffee table that's too big. You have a sectional that's too big. So your entire space just seems very cramped, very overwhelming. You can't circulate around the space. You feel like you can't function. Everything feels very tight. It's because you have too many big pieces in your space. And your one piece that grounds your space, especially in a living room, is your sofa, your sectional. That is what grounds your space. So choosing the right size sofa, choosing the right size coffee table. You can't choose your coffee table size unless you have choose your sofa size, okay? Your dining room, unless you have chosen that dining room table, you cannot choose a rug. You just can't. Let's move on to what the ideal coffee table with dimensions overlay would be, right? So I also want you to pay attention to spacing. There should be about 14 inches to 18 inches between the edge of your sofa and that table. Just enough room to walk around or stretch your legs, but close enough to sit down a drink comfortably. Guys, if you're loving what you're already hearing already, please don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like, and don't forget to turn on your notification bell. Now let's get into the rest of this video. There are 3 general rules to follow when you're choosing common rug size. A properly sized area rug grounds your room and it ties your furniture together. That is the purpose of a rug. A rug, purchasing the wrong size rug would throw off your entire look, especially if you're trying to make the rug fit and you know it don't fit. I want to say 3 common rug sizes for your floors. 1, all furniture legs on the rug. All, not 2 legs and then the other 2 legs off. When you putting a rug in a living room with a sofa, all of the legs of that sofa, especially your front legs, should be on the sofa. This works best in large open spaces, but if you have a smaller space like I do, the front legs should be on and your back legs can be off. So this will work better in those medium-sized spaces. And 3, so only having your coffee table on the rug in a tight space is still unacceptable. Okay, your furniture, if you have a sofa in that space, the front leg of your sofa still should be on that rug along with the coffee table. In a dining room, when you're measuring to see what size rug is required for your space, I need you to pull the chair out as though someone is going to be sitting in that chair. How far out would you pull it? Then do it on both sides, right? And then I want you to take a measurement from the back of the chair to the table and do it on, and then if that is say 2 feet but the width of your table is 4 feet, then you know the smallest rug that you can get is a 8 foot going this way. Does that make sense? Then you would do it the opposite way. So you will pull that chair out. That should be another 2 feet on each side, which gives you 4 feet, but your table is a 6 foot table. So what size rug do you need? You need an 8 by 10 rug for that table. That is how you check to see what size rug you would need for your dining room space. In most cases, your rug should be at least 8 by 10 or larger for a standard living room. So if you have a standard size living room, you should not be purchasing any rug smaller than an 8 by 10. That is the standard size for a standard living room. And always leave about 10 to 18 inches of floor space between the edge of the rug and your walls. When your rug and coffee table are the right size, your room feels cohesive, comfortable, and inviting. So make sure that you're choosing the right size rug for your space. Design is all about balance. And with these simple size rules, your living room can feel both functional and beautifully styled. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more interior design tips. If you're struggling to put your space together and you need an interior designer to partner with you to get your space right, go ahead and contact me down in the description so that we can work out a plan and work together. Also guys, if you guys have any spaces that you would like us to review here on the channel, go ahead and shoot me an email down below, and we can go over what your needs are for the space, what you want for the space, and I will give you some advice on that space, how you can make the space better. And I have received spaces that already look good, but the person, I had to convince them that their space to look good. So go ahead guys, send your spaces in so that we can review them here on the channel, and that is for free. That is what I am giving back to you guys. So go ahead guys, send your spaces. One space. We're doing one space only, and I will give you some design tips, advice that you can use to make your space better. On that note guys, I will see you guys on the next one. This one was quick, short, in a hurry, but I just want you guys to get this right, because every time I see something being taught wrong on YouTube, I have to come here and correct it for my girlies and my guys, okay? So please take heed. Don't take it with a grain of salt. This is not something you take with a grain of salt. When I see design being done wrong, it drives me nuts. So please, let's get it right. If you want to know what is the best qualities of rugs that you can select for your space, check out this video right here where I went over rugs and all the little nitty-gritties on how you can select the correct rug for your space. Guys, I will see you next on the next episode on Design Cafe by Jag.
Always remember, never let your budget dictate your style, but create a space that you love. Design for life.